Okay, there's certain parts of your homework that's going to ask you to calculate the speed of from a distance time graph. So I just put together a quick video just to show you exactly how to do that, just in case anyone's confused. So let's say, for example, I'm asked to calculate the speed over the first 20 seconds, roughly. Okay, so what I do is I get the gradient or the slope of that line. So to do that, what I do is I look at the graph and I say to myself, well, by how much has the graph risen over by how much has it run? So the slope or the gradient can be calculated by something called the rise over the run. That's the way we would normally do it in math. So the rise is this much. There's the rise. It comes up or down by this much. And the run is what it goes along by. So if you notice here, this part of the graph, speed number 1, I'll call that S for speed number 1. This would have risen from 0 meters up to 50 meters. So that would be plus 50 meters because it's gone from 0 up to 50. And it's done it in a time because it's run along here, so the run would be 20 seconds. 20 seconds, okay? So then speed 1, or S1 is what I'm calling speed 1, would be 50 meters divided by 20 seconds, and that works out to be 2.5 meters per second, okay? So I'll run through another one, just so as you can see. Just like we showed you in class, this section here is it's stopped at the moment, okay? Completely stopped, and you can tell that because actually the slope or the gradient of this line is actually 0. In other words, it doesn't rise between this point and this point. There's no rise there at all, okay? But it does rise across this section here, so I'm going to call this speed number 2. So speed number 2, let's see if we can work it out. So I'm going to draw just a little triangle like this from the beginning to the end of this point, okay? So what I'll say to myself is, well, how much has it risen from here up to here, okay? Well, it was at 50 meters, and it's gone from 50 meters up to, well, that's 150 there, 175 up as far as here, okay? So it's gone to 175. So what I would do is, let me see if I can work that out, okay? Pull it on my side, so speed number 2, the rise, let me just see if I can calculate that bit separately. It's got 175, that's the top bit, minus the bottom bit of 50. So that means the rise is 125 meters, okay? Now in that time, well, by how much did the time run along? Well, it went from 40 up to 60, and again, let me just work that out, just to be on the safe side. So I'll take the final time and I'll subtract away the first time. So that's 60 seconds minus 40 seconds. So that gives me a seconds, an interval, time interval of 20 seconds. Okay, so I've got my rise and I've got my run. I'm ready to calculate my speed now. So speed number 2 is going to be the rise over the run. So that will be 125 meters, that's the rise, and the run is 20 seconds. So 2 into that goes 6 point, so that goes 6.25 meters per second, and that should be speed number 2. Okay, and then just very, very quickly, if we look back, you should be able to see speed number 1 was 2.5. Okay, 2.5, it's not very steep. This one speed, this speed here across that middle section is 0. Okay, and you can tell that because it doesn't rise. And then speed number 2 up here is actually 6.25 meters per second. And you can tell that visually because this part of the graph is much, much steeper than this one. So you can tell it's got to be more than 2.5 anyway. Okay. So I hope that helps. I hope it makes a bit of sense. So you should have no problem really finishing off the rest of this homework. Okay.